So, yo guys, what's up? Um, I'm Mule, Mino, whatever you want to call me. I've wanted to start this like YouTube podcast thing for a while now. And I've just realized I should stop thinking about it and just get into doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the harm in doing it? I'm just talking to a fucking camera to a bunch of people who I may know or may not know, but maybe find my insight enjoyable, or maybe find my insight like valid. You know what I mean? Either way, you're here, welcome. Um, you might be seeing some greatness start from this, you know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like I should start with a little bit about me. I'm currently studying animation in the waterfront. Um, I've also wanted to always get into modeling, and that dream is slowly starting to come into fruition. I have two modeling shoots coming up soon. So some great things are happening in my life, and I feel like I don't talk much in my day to day life, so I feel like I'm gonna use this platform to just talk about anything that goes in my head. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot. I mean, you think on a daily, but I feel like I think too much to the point where I can't even talk to people sometimes. Because sometimes I feel, I don't know if it's just me, but something I've realized about myself is that I think I think about. Wait, let me just roll it back. I feel like I think I think about what I could say instead of what I should be saying in a moment of responding to someone. So like someone could ask me about um my opinion on something, and then I'll think about all the possible ways I could answer the question instead of just answering the question as a whole, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I've tried to I just realized that like a few days ago, so I'm gonna try and get that like out of my system, because I stumble my words a lot or I stutter a lot because of that. And I don't really like it, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I should be able to just say the things that are in my mind, but my mind is always just going through so many files of, like, what I could say, what is the right thing to say, given the context, how my response will affect the person who I'm talking to. All of those things go through my head instead of me just talking and just being me, instead of just trying to make sure that what I'm saying will not affect the person too much, but it'll also give the person a proper understanding of where I am and where I'm going about my answer, if that makes sense. The words that are coming out of my mouth right now are taking so much time to like actually come out, because I'm thinking of too many things. And I'm talking about thinking a lot, which is kind of crazy to me. So, yeah. Um, I don't know what else there is that could be spoken about, but I would like to talk about certain controversial topics. But with the way the world is right now, I wouldn't want to just start off with talking about them. Um, so depending on how well I do, and the type of influence I have, I'll start talking about those controversial topics a bit more. And I wouldn't want people to obviously take my things out of context, but I don't have control over what people do. And obviously, I wouldn't want to, how do I say this? Obviously, when I'm talking about a certain controversial topic, I'm never attacking either side. It's me trying to get an understanding from one side and get another understanding from another side, if you get what I'm saying. That's where my mind is at this moment. And I really feel like certain topics are really interesting. Things that go through my head every day are stuff like um how certain people interact with each other. Like I'm someone who likes to somewhat people watch, and I love seeing interactions that people have with each other, and not just like interactions with other people, but interactions with myself. And it can be either interactions with me and that person, or it could be completely random people that I'm seeing outside on the street, just interacting with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was this one time I was walking back home from campus, and I saw this homeless couple together, right? But the guy was bleeding from the back of his head, so I was wondering, like, what was going on? Like, this is insane. And she's busy swearing at him, going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like swearing his mother off and all of that. Then, like the next day, or the following days after that, I saw them again, and then they were all lovey-dovey, and that just tripped the fuck out of me, because like you you guys were literally beefing not so long ago. You literally had bloodshed from something that happened a while ago, and now you guys are lovey-dovey again. Like, those type of things just interest me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the type of things that people go through and the type of processes and tribulations that bring them to the way they are now. It really it interests me. I love the way people think. Not all people, obviously, because some people are really like cooked. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there are some very fucked up people in this world. But like, whenever I'm talking to someone, I'm always thinking of how you came about being the way you are, whether it be based on your background, from the environment you're in, from your parents, like all of those things always add up to the way a person is now. So I like to know about why people like a certain thing a certain way, and why people enjoy certain things, you know? Like, um let's think. Like, someone could have, like, how in the Sidemen, um everyone knows Harry in the Sidemen. Everyone knows that he well, not everyone, but people who have watched these videos, or I mean, people who have watched their videos from like a few years back should know that Harry goes to the toilet naked, and that's from a trauma response. So like, things like that really interest me. I don't judge it, because you are the way you are because of certain things that happened in your life, and people shouldn't judge, because we all go through certain things that we wouldn't want to talk about, but could be noticed through the things that they do in their everyday life. Like, some people are like, how you get very emotional people, and then you get very logistic people. I think for myself, I'm a more logistic person. Not, I don't even know if it's no, logical is the word. Logical is the word. That's what I'm talking about. So like, how certain people guide their lives through emotion, and how some people guide their lives through logic. I'm not gonna say which one is wrong and which one is right, but they both have their pros and cons. Someone who is more logical, they're a lot more straightforward, they're a lot more blunt, but their life is more based on the facts and what makes sense, with less regard to emotion. So like, for some situations, they'll choose the logical side of a thing compared to how they feel about that certain thing. And I feel like a lot of people who do that obviously don't take into account of how it would affect a certain person if it involves a certain person. So there are a lot of things that just have pros and cons, and people like to focus on one side of certain things sometimes, and I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? There are always reasons for people being the way they are. No one just comes out, like Hitler didn't just come out of the womb and was like, yeah, I'm gonna start murdering people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there had to be certain things that happened in his life that brought him to the certain point now, or not now, to his death. You know what I'm saying? Certain psychological things that affected him. I'm not saying that what he did was right, obviously. I'm not trying to like say he did this because of that. But to some degree, there are like certain things that cause people to become some sort of way. I'm not saying that what he did was right. It is definitely wrong. Like, mass murder is never a good thing. But if you're, I don't know if I've ever seen someone who is somewhat mentally okay and has done some really, really messed up things. There are always people who have the people who have most likely like committed some serious things have become have had a history that was really not normal, well, normal in the world we live in, you know? Like um like how some serial killers or something will like some serial killers, their backstories will be like they didn't have a father or a mother, or both their parents were abusive to them, or like they didn't, or they just didn't have parents at all. You know what I'm saying? Like certain type of upbringings and environments really influence a lot of people's lives. I feel like I'm a allo or geography teacher because this is like statistic based stuff that a lot of my teachers from high school used to speak about. And honestly, I found it interesting because I just genuinely, not I love people, I love the makeup, or not the makeup, but like I love the mind and the compositions of how people came about being, and evolution itself. Like how we went from literal stone tools to having a camera up that is recording me while I'm using a microphone in my hand, which really is something so interesting, too small, like too, it's insane. Like I saw videos from, I think like a few years ago, I saw a video on Instagram, or even a few days ago, of certain underdeveloped countries finally getting, is it escalators? Not elevators, escalators. Or is it elevators, escalators? The diagonal one that you go up from a certain floor to the next floor, a higher floor. So in those ones, I saw that they were really like, there were people were lining up to get onto this escalator because it was just such an interesting thing. So it's like little small things that technology has brought in from nothing. We literally went from plants and trees and minerals on a flat, or not a flat earth, but like on just a plane of just vegetation, to having infrastructure and technology. That is something that I myself can't fathom. And I feel like possibly some of the smartest people can't fathom themselves. Because like as obvious as it may seem, it's not that obvious. Like what made someone think of taking a certain mineral, like burning it and forming it into something, or using certain wirings to connect things and make it work through power. Like it just really makes me trip sometimes. And there was something else I need to just say now. And like obviously a lot of the things that we have nowadays, I feel like they definitely came about with some type of suffering. Like how we know about certain plants, some are good and some are bad. There were definitely some people who back in the day didn't have this information at all. So they had to test it out themselves, like poison ivy. The first person who tried poison ivy probably thought it was something fine, probably ate it, and he was like, okay, I'm chilling a few minutes. I don't know how long, I don't know the side effects of poison ivy, or like how long it takes to hit or whatever. But if you get what I'm saying, like certain things that came about definitely had some detrimental factor to it. Like how, like some people definitely died from this unintentionally, but it helped with the progression of life and the development of technology and infrastructure and things, which I personally find so interesting. Like I don't understand how a camera works. A circular thing creating a square, like And the coding, or I don't even know, like, I think that everything nowadays obviously has a coding to it, right? So there are certain numbers and like certain codes and stuff being put into this camera that are being sent to like a screen that is recording all of this and is able to take my voice and put it into a code that will be sitting into my laptop or PC or whatever. And that code will generate the same things that I'm saying right now. If you get what I'm saying. I might be just too philosophical or whatever with this motherfuckers, but I genuinely don't care. This is the things I like to talk about. I've noticed that not a lot of people are people who will talk about these type of things. So I'm gonna be that type of person who does it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like the creation of words and like letters and stuff. Someone just randomly thought about this and was like, yeah, this is what we're gonna go with. Somehow, S is spelled the way it's spelled. All the words I am saying make sense to you and to me. But like, what made people want to create this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely just find interest in those things. And I'm probably going to keep talking about certain things like this. I just feel like I enjoy just talking on my own. I like my own space. So I won't necessarily talk when I'm around a lot of people because I don't have the energy to like just speak up in a group of like 10 people because like everyone's having a conversation at once, of course. So if someone talks to me, I'll respond and I'll give you energy, you know what I'm saying? But otherwise, I'm gonna just sit here and let you guys talk and just enjoy the conversations that you guys are having. Because why can't I be that type of person, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's me for today. Um, if you like what you see, you know, I'm talking nonsense. If you find what I'm talking about interesting, leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know. On the road to 1 subscriber, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get to 1 subscriber. Why am I saying subscriber? I actually have an account that I posted a bunch, or not a bunch, like three videos on that has like 10 subscribers. So let's just try and see how far we can get to this, you know what I'm saying? I'm just using it for my own enjoyment. I'm not necessarily expecting to get money out of this. If I do, obviously that's amazing. But I'm using it as a place to just allow me to vent and just speak about the things that go on in my mind throughout my daily life, you know? So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.